through Congress. And then finally, and I'm not sure exactly what time, year this happened, but the National Institute of Health established an institute and center within it, group of organizations. And if you're not aware, the National Institute of Health is the premier research facility within the world, quite honestly. There are 27 institutes within the National Institute of Health. It primarily does key research as well as it lays funds and it provides funding for research across the country and actually across the world. And just to give you an example of the type of research that goes on within this agency and the importance and the level and quality of it. Let's see, when was this? I had trained at Harlem Hospital, 3 years in internal medicine, left, and then I did a public health service obligation I had in Lower Manhattan for 3 years. And then I was interested in immunology and wanted to move over to actually, quite honestly, get into research. So I got a position in Denver, Colorado. Well, during that time, I was seeing emails and hearing feedback from those that remained and sought higher education at Harlem Hospital. And they said, man, we're seeing this all kinds of infections and sickness. We don't know what's going on. But what that was AIDS was occurring. And all these people coming in with multifactorial, I mean, they were coming in with parasitic infections, mycobacterial infections, bacterial infections in one given person. Just was overwhelmed. It took the National Institute of Health Infectious Disease and Immunology section 1 year to figure that out. Money outlay to the various research institutions within the world, its own research. And actually the National Institute of Health was the first one to isolate that virus. And that is so astounding to occur in such a short period of time. I mean, it was kind of a historical setting. Typically, what was happening earlier on, it takes years really to kind of isolate a infectious agent and to discover what was going on. But anyway, that's the level of research and the importance of these institutes. It is the driving force behind decades of advances in health, science, and it serves society more broadly. And as I mentioned, within the National Institute of Health is an institute of minority health. Also within the FDA, there's a National Minority Health office there, and its function, just bear with me, within the FDA has to do with assuring quality and safety of new drug discovery. All companies have to file once they find a new chemical compound and want to release it to the public for treatment, have to go through evaluation by the FDA, and that's its main function. Well, within there, that Office of Minority Health highlights new drug application, but also what it does is, and this was a really important point, because within the black population, as a result of the Tuskegee research, I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Mm-hmm.
That was where, around the time, let's see, I think like 1920s or so, the Public Health Service allowed blacks to continue with syphilis infections just to see how that disease progressed.
Right.
It did not provide treatment.
Mm-hmm.
As a result of that, blacks, for obvious reasons, do not want to partake in research. Well, things have changed, and now the FDA has educational educational material. They have an agency of investigators to educate people such that we need blacks to participate in health education, particularly as it relates to the diseases that seem to affect us more so. So they're trying to educate people and put them at ease, black people, to participate in these upcoming trials. To that end, this FDA office has devised a really extensive strategic plan. And that strategic plan, and also the NIH has an extensive strategic plan. Both their strategic plans are made available on their website, and you can get into more information there if, as you're so interested. There are various publications that are made available through both those agencies that you can print out. I must admit, even for me, it gets kind of overwhelming with all the administrative jargon and that, but again, that's the level that they have to go into just to make sure that they're fulfilling certain legalities. But it's an extensive program looking at how the groups work, their analysis, how they will be implementing these programs, and how they will be following on it. Particularly with regard to jumping back over to the NIH and its vision. I just want to quickly get over and show you. One of the things I learned when I was doing my fellowship in immunology, the big time rolls around when you have to file your grant. So everybody's kind of staying in their offices, writing these extensive grants in preparation for filing these documents, because you have to lay it out for the NIH such that you can get these thousands of, in some cases, millions of dollars to fund your research. And that's just how big some of these programs. And to that end, let me just highlight that the NIH itself funds a total of somewhere around $45 billion across those agencies to distribute to other researchers. So you can see it's a huge, huge organization, a huge function. And within that regard, I printed it out just to impress upon you and let you see. There are like 8 pages of the different types of funding one can receive through the NIH in terms of the different grants that are available. And this is 8 pages of grants, all geared towards minority health education, geared towards understanding the disparity that exists within the minority population of various diseases. So again, it was just quite intriguing. This month's almost over, but their programs run throughout the year. They will have podcasts, they will have meetings, as well as presenting the availability of all these various funds that are available to enhance the concern of minority health within our country. Lastly, major point. So I was impressed with all of this, and it sounds big and impressive, but as I also mentioned to you, I wasn't aware that the organization existed. So the point is, to me, that's the major issue. How does this translate from all these governmental funds and organizations to the basic community? Certainly, I mean, now that you know, we can pass the word along. The American Family of Physicians has an active organization to provide this sort of information to the family physicians. But obviously there's more that needs to be done. I'm hopeful and prayerful that the government agencies do a better job of just making known that this is all out there. I would guess that it is only those who are so mindful enough that have become aware of this are aware, but a better job needs to be done by NIH and FDA to let this information get out at a local level. So I hope that you find interesting. I hope, should you know anyone in the health field, again, social workers, pharmacists, psychologists, anyone that is interested within minority health can get involved here. It's not just limited to doctors and nurses. So, again, this is the month of National Minority Mental Health. It's an ongoing program within our government, and I hope that that